for a week. We have had a lot of rain this week. I can tell that a lot of the roads going up here were also flooded. I see the drains all plugged up. There would have been big floods up here a couple days ago. But we're going out to do end of the year inspections on the logging roads. And why is this guy right here going 38 in a 55? We'll pass this guy in a moment. There's always a parade leader on the road. We got a bunch of, there we go. Who's driving it? Is it an old person? It's an a-hole on their phone. That's why they got the horn. Literally has the phone in front of their face. There needs to be more officers on the road. I see all kinds of junk like that every single day. It's annoying. All the time. It's one of the reasons I love going on ride-alongs with my boss, because he has half a dozen train horns under the hood of his rig for doing stuff like that. One of the most enjoyable things was on one road, he was saying, "Do you see that in the mirror?" "I can't see anything." And he says, "Well, on my side I see a mirror. Someone's that close to the back of my trailer, just riding down the logging roads." So he's like, "All right, lunch break," shuts the truck off, and he said either this guy's gonna try to go around me, get stuck in the ditch, turn around, or come up here and be mad. But the guy came up, he was angry a couple minutes later, and he was like, "Why are you blocking the road?" And it eventually led to, "I'm gonna call the police on you." And my boss said, "Okay, go ahead, call the police, and I'll be sure to have you trespassed. This is my road. You're gonna tailgate me down here?" Remember, in Maine, the logging trucks have the right of way. It doesn't matter if they're going slow. You don't ride them like that. Too bad one of the logs didn't fall off the truck that day, because that happens quite often, actually, because they're not required to secure their load. Those are private roads, and you're there at your own risk. It's kind of the companies to allow you to be there, and it's people like that that make the workers angry. But I have been learning a lot of patience just with my boss teaching me how to drive the bigger trucks. He said, people like that, you gotta not let them stress you out, and you gotta turn it around and let them stress themselves out. So if somebody's riding your bumper, slow down to the speed limit. If it continues, start going 10 under. If it continues, start going 20 under. If they want to ride the bumper, they clearly got somewhere they got to go fast, so just let them go around you. But what I have realized is, with the really big trucks, my boss is not a truck driver, but he has a license to do it. That's why he's able to teach a lot of the guys how to drive the big trucks. They're typically 22-wheel trucks up north here, because they got that extra axle on the trailer. But just simply driving the speed limit with a big truck, you're going to realize there are 10 times more a-holes on the road, riding your bumper, passing you over the double line around corners, being super dangerous. And they have the nerve to honk at you as you go by them, or as they go by you, when they're the ones just being horrible drivers. I honestly don't think it's ever going to happen, but I do like those proposals they have where people have to go take driving tests every 5 years, because a lot of these people would be failing it. And I have realized, just 5 years working in northern Maine, these roads are quickly getting more traffic over the years. There's a lot more a-holes, usually with out-of-state plates, that think they're entitled to do this kind of stuff out here on these roads. It's just really sad what I've realized over the years. But it's been raining a lot. We haven't been up into far northern Maine in quite a while, actually. I was up here about a week ago, but I didn't go super far up. Not really. We just went down a couple roads to get footage of the colorful trees and stuff, which have mostly passed. This morning there was a lot of, no, not this morning, this afternoon there was a lot of beautiful oak trees. They're pretty much in full foliage. I'm hoping in the next couple days to film some areas of tamarack or aspen trees, which have foliage weeks after the peak, but those isolated areas with just those trees should be pretty beautiful this week. But this is an end of the year inspection week of culverts and stuff. The best time that we do the inspections is the spring. All the high grass is pushed over by the snow and nothing has started growing yet. Super easy. Once the snow melts is the best time to do your inspections. Preferably when the ground is still frozen and it's raining, because everything's tested to their limits when it can't absorb into the ground. If the ground's frozen and it's raining, you'll notice every culvert that's undersized, they'll wash out that time of year. That's when the blockages will be there, because there's more watershed when the ground is frozen. It can't absorb any of it. But this week, all the rivers are going from critically low. They're all filling back up. They're not flooding. They look like they're running pretty normal. We have had a lot of rain this week, so maybe we'll find some culverts to unclog this week. Unclogging culverts is not part of my job. It's just fun, and I'm just going to go up there and see if we can find anything like that. This has been a slow year. That's why we've done more traveling than anything like this. We've done a lot of abandoned building exploring this year, a lot of camping this year, just because the regular work hasn't been feasible. But we'll get some hours in this week. Gonna work the next 7 days, 12-hour days. Then next week is off. I can do whatever. So I usually will squeeze 2 weeks of work basically into 1 week. So instead of working 5 days, 8 hours, I'll work 7 days, 12 hours, and it sort of evens itself out when I do this sort of stuff. But inspections and surveying is what my actual job would be called. The unclogging I just do for fun, and no one cares because I'm helpful. So that's what we intend on doing, starting first thing in the morning. Just driving up tonight. I'll sleep in my truck when we get up here in a couple more hours, top off with fuel so we can get out there. The past couple months I've been really wanting to go to the abandoned railroad trestle in the Maine North Woods because it's been so dry. I've been wanting to see that. Driest year on record. It's probably completely dried up, the lake that the trestle goes over. But I think we're a week too late. It's been raining. I really don't know. That reservoir could be full. It could not be. I'm not sure about how that watershed works in that area. But I know there's some reservoirs I drove by today. They're still extremely low. They haven't shown any improvement, but the rivers all seem like they're flowing a lot better than we've seen since like June. Barely any rain this summer.